In this video, I want to talk to you about my career journey. It's been a crazy path. See, most people think careers are supposed to look like this, when in all actuality, they actually look like this. Let me tell you mine. So if you don't count high school jobs and side hustles, I've been in the workforce full time for the last 15 years. And I have to say, those first 7 to 8 years were really, really rough. I'm telling you, I got fired from every job I ever had. If I didn't get fired, I got laid off or the business would close, so on and so forth. And the thing about it was, I hated every single job. I'm not kidding. I hated every single job I had. But it was the only thing I thought I could do. See, I didn't graduate college. I had a daughter young, and I had to drop out of college to make sure I could work full time to take care of her. And at the time, I couldn't do both. And so what I was told and what I heard in society is that in this town, if you don't go to college, become a doctor or a lawyer, then you go work at the warehouse. That's the next best thing. You go there, you operate a forklift, you learn how to run a machine, you work there for 30 years, they pay you decently, you take care of your family, and then after 30 years, you go right off in the sunset and live what type of life you want to live. Now that works for a lot of people, and I'm not knocking that, but that was not working for me. I tried it that way over and over again. I would go to this warehouse and I would apply for a job and they would accept it. And I would accept the rate and the shift regardless of what it was, and I would go to work. And then 6 months later, 90 days down the road, for whatever reason, they would do layoffs, they would have turnover, a new boss would come in, they would reorg, everything would be shut down, and here I am now on this vicious cycle of finding a job I hate, losing a job I hate, to find another job that I hate, to eventually lose that job again. I remember one time where it really clicked for me. I was working at this warehouse, and we made airplane engines, right? Mostly for the government. Well, a particular president cut the defense budget in half, and that meant they lost a great majority of their business. In fact, worldwide, this employer had to let go of the last 3,000 people they hired. And guess who was in that number? Me. Now, I remember feeling a couple of different things. One, I was frustrated. I came here every day to do this job that I hated, to do all this work, to be berated by my manager. I had a manager, man, she was horrible. She was a micromanager. She would stand over your shoulder, try to do everything. She was a little bit of a bully. She was just an overall not kind person. And I deal with that every day. You're barely paying me anything. And then in the end of it, I get fired because you didn't handle your business right. That's when I knew this business model, this career model was not working for me. I couldn't live what everybody says you should do. If you don't graduate to college, you got to go do X, Y, Z. I just couldn't do that anymore. And so I made a decision. I made a decision that I was going to go pursue the career that had been tumbling around in the back of my mind. You know, that thing that you think you could do, but nobody's really affirming it. You've done it a little bit before and you had fun, but you never really pursued it because, you know, it just didn't seem like something you could do. It wasn't inside the mind of your possibilities. Well, I went for it. I went to go get a career in sales. I knew that I could sell. I always loved interacting with people. I love having the conversations with people. I didn't belong closed up in some warehouse. I just didn't. So I went and got a sales job, and I loved that so much that I decided I wanted to teach other people how to sell. It's the classic hero's journey, right? You're going along life, everything's going great, and then something happens and there's this big call to adventure. And once you go and you do that adventure, you start to become a better person, you learn so much, you get stronger, and then you bring what you learned back to the village. Well, that's what I wanted to do in sales. And so I started doing that. I was so excited about it. I was doing it at work and outside of work. I started a blog called coffeeandcommission.com where 3 days a week I would write about sales training and little sales, humor stories and different things like that, just to teach people about sales because of how happy it made me. I became a sales trainer at work. And then I started to realize I just really love training. I love education. I love communicating with other people. And so when you love something, you start to work harder at it. You start to devote more time into it. You get excited because you're doing things that operates in your strength, and it actually gives you energy instead of draining it. I can't tell you how many times I left the warehouse after an 8-hour shift so tired and drained, even though I had done this much work. I wasn't using my brain at all, but I was lifting boxes and doing this stuff, but it wasn't hard work, but I was so drained because I hated it so much. It wasn't something that was a strength of mine. But here we are at the sales center. I'm on the phones, I'm talking to people, I'm closing deals. Now I'm training other people to close deals. I come home after a 12-hour shift and I'm still pumped. I'm still excited to write on my blog. I'm still excited to post to social media about what I'm doing in the sales world and in the training world in particular because I love it. Funny thing happened after the first 7 years of my career. I made an important decision that I was going to prioritize my career happiness over what societal pressure said, over what my family thought was the right thing to do. Above all and everything, I said to myself, when I get fired this time, I'm going to make sure I at least had fun on the journey. And guess what happened? I haven't been fired since. Knock on wood, right? But the key to that is I found something that I was good at and that I enjoyed. And it doesn't have to be an either or thing. I know a lot of people get caught up there. What if the thing that I enjoy, I'm not very good at? Or what if the thing I'm good at, maybe I don't enjoy it that much? There's a crossroads there. And it doesn't mean that you have to make less money. My first year in sales, I made way more money than I would have made in the warehouse. And yes, sales wasn't guaranteed and the warehouse paycheck was, but I knew that I could go get it if I got the opportunity. And that's exactly what I did. And so now that I've done this, for the last 7 or 8 years, the second half so far of my career, I've been happier with my work. I've been more fulfilled with the work that I get to do every day. And I'm making more money than I've ever made in my life. Year over year, my income has increased. And I have more opportunities to do more of the work that I love. Now it's like opportunities are coming from left and right, and I have to decide and be smart about how I use my time if I'm going to take advantage of that opportunity. But it's a complete shift, and it started with how I prioritize work and how I looked at work, how I looked at the work that I got to do every day. I had to make that shift. And so now, in true fashion, right, I'm a lover of education. My job is to help other people on their career journey. I want to put out videos and job aids and, downloadable ebooks, courses, whatever the call is. I want to give you the resources to help you on your career journey so that you can have a little help going through the process, right? When it gets a little crazy, when you want to leave that job, but you don't know how, or when you're at the job and you want to get that promotion, but you're not sure, or when your family or society is pressuring you into doing one thing, but you know your heart lies over here. I want to help you navigate those things because I've been through all those things before. I've had to stand and look my family members in the face and say, I appreciate your advice, and I know you're just trying to help me and you're loving on me well, and I really appreciate that, but I have to go this way. And I know how difficult those conversations can be. I know how it feels to be passed up for a promotion that you feel like you should have gotten, and now you don't know what to do because that job rejected you, or that person rejected you, or that person has a certain view on you and you just don't know how to fix that. I'm here to help. So if you like that content, if you like that idea, if you need that help, we want to build a community full of people just like you. Drop a comment and let us know what type of content you would like to see from this channel moving forward. If you are a longtime subscriber, I know this is a bit of a change for you, but just follow us on this journey. It'll all make sense. But drop a comment if you have a particular area of your career that you need help with. I would love to make a video for you about that.